honestly know how well this is going to do. If it's going to be any better. But we'll see. Alright, well, it looks to be running a lot better. I had to go down from 4K to 1080p, so maybe that's the deciding factor here. I never had a problem streaming in 4K before when I was using OBS, so I don't know. Percival.
Be the one who got me out of the red with the trade authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts? Tissue sample? You came all the way down here for that? Must be some damn important cells. You want to tell me what I'm about to be staring at? Terramorph attack, huh? Not exactly sure why you'd be bringing that... Wait, Tau Gourmet? Like Tau Ceti Tau Gourmet? That's a joke, right? There's no settlement old enough on Tau Ceti to have a Terramorph. Either someone's setting up the worst petting zoo in the universe, or who exactly told you to bring this to me? Adrian, she gave you this? If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
If there's anybody out there watching at the moment, please do let me know how the mic volume compares and pales, like how it compares to the game volume. If it's just right, too loud,
Got some projects
too
in the
soft.
works down here. I wasn't expecting guests.
If you can hear the game okay.
Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt. Managed to negotiate it down to something more reasonable. Good to see someone give the trade authority a bit of their own medicine.
Where's Sarah?
All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait, where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all in a slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved. Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst Terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian. It was a city wiped completely off the map by Terramorphs. The swarms were so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tau Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinia, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
It would be the end of us as a species.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now? The circle, huh? Could use a drink about now. Here, faster we take the lift to the servants. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
Okay. I think I should pick up some ammo when I get back to Sidonia. I'm just gonna take a minute here and see how we're doing. Okay. Okay. If I'm right, I should be able to see my ship even from this far out. Maybe. There it goes. Maybe. Can't tell. Definitely one of the mods I got. Ship remote control. Okay. I am switching a lot of windows. A little too much here, focusing less on the stream, but there we go. everything seems to be back to how it was yesterday. About a 6 to 10 second lag on the stream. I got some lettuce or something stuck in my teeth. Okay.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say,
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back. Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on two conditions. One, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And two, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us. Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. Oh, well, That means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that's
7 seconds.
All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
It's a 7-second lag between what's going on my screen versus what the stream sees.
Was that Percival walking through there with you? Oh, glad to see he's still kicking.
The miners pretty much run the lower levels here.
My buddy Mitch keeps asking if I can help him out with something.
So been pondering, been trying to figure out here what exactly happened, because this is like my third, let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah, third playthrough, second time through the Unity. So I should have a Starborn Guardian 2 and materia armor, and I have a Starborn Guardian 6 and the materia armor. So I know I have a mod called Starborn, not Toddborn, which makes more of the power-ups unique, more of the random encounters with other Starborn unique, and it makes more of the rewards unique. So I'm thinking what may have happened here is that upon entering the Unity and starting this second Starborn playthrough, it randomly chose a ship. I honestly don't know how I got Guardian 6 on a Starborn 2 playthrough, but I'm thinking it might have something to do with Starborn, not Toddborn, because, like I said, you can get certain, like, most of my powers are at, like, rank 2, but some of them are at rank 3, because when you randomly kill, random encounter Starborns, you can pick up essences and powers from them. And I know one of the Starborns I killed had a Starborn Guardian 6. So maybe it gave me that ship for defeating him? I don't know. That's guesswork at best. I am going to have to take a bathroom break here. So I'm gonna go to a BRB/intermission for the moment, just while I take a minute to use the bathroom. Alright, I grabbed my coat and I took the dog out because she had to go to the bathroom too. So, killed two birds with one stone, so to speak. Right. I know that there are shortcuts to, like, immediately leave your ship and board your ship. I am kind of intentionally avoiding doing that for the immersion, you know, getting up out of your seat, walking to the door, getting out of your ship. Kinda aiming for that style of immersion. I didn't really do much of an intro last night or tonight for the stream. I may pick up my stream intro again here, hopefully starting tomorrow. I also didn't announce this entire event, which lasts for 8 days. This is day 2, is for Stop Soldier Suicide. The donation link is over here. Well, okay, well, the donation link is in the description of the videos. But if you Google them on Google Stop Soldier Suicide and go to their donate page, anything helps. Where am I going? There we go. If all else fails, jump. Now, in my last playthrough of this, I had a really...
Always be ready for anything.
Well,
Whoa!
for lack of a better word.
Now that is a ship.
For lack of a better word, I had a kick-ass ship in my last playthrough.
So, sure, have it.
And it wasn't the Frontier.
I'm sure you can find some.
Let me just see here, because I think I might have a save. Yep, okay. I'm going to just quickly load up this older save, just to show off my ship from my previous game. I got the inspiration for this ship from a YouTube video, actually. So we'll load this up real quick, and then we'll go right back to the save we're on. It's kind of why I'm trying to be frugal with my credit spending, because I want to try and get up to the 700,000 credits that I need in order to rebuild that ship in this playthrough, if I can. One thing is for sure, I am not going to spend the time during stream to build the ship. Once I hit that 700 or so thousand mark for the credits, then I will probably spend a morning building the ship before I stream, because it was a process this last time. It took me about 4, maybe 4.5 hours to copy this ship in its entirety. And here it is, the Goliath. I'll see if I can't add the link in the description after this live stream is over for the original video that I got the inspiration for this ship from. Very few minor modifications to the original design. The original poster uploader of the video, props to him, great job. Honestly, did not look at who it was that uploaded the video, so definitely something I'll have to, again, mad props to him. But we've got like massive armaments and crew and cargo space. Got like 980 shielded cargo, almost 10,000 cargo overall. Multi-frequency scramblers, all kinds of stuff on this bad boy. And then in the back, more armaments. Then we've got, this is a powerhouse of a ship. almost as strong as the Starborn Guardian ships. Anyway, we'll go back to what we were doing. I'm sure because it's in the same playthrough that I could theoretically try and see if I can get the reference ID of the ship. But I mean, that just kind of feels cheap, getting the reference ID of the ship, moving the ship to my character, trying to at least, if it hasn't like been removed. And then just using console commands to deduct the credits from my character. Again, that just feels rather cheap, but I'm not sure I really want to spend another 4 hours completely rebuilding the ship. It probably wouldn't take me that long the second time around, because I know most of what I did the first time. But even still, I don't know that I want to spend that much time on it. No, I'm supposed to be going to New Atlantis. Oh well. I'll see if I can.
The community center on P1 is a good place to connect with others or fulfill any spiritual goals. Almost break time. Come on.
Let's see what he's got. Maybe he's
How's
got
it
some
going?
ammo.
Can I help you? Cool. That's what we do.
Okay. God. Really don't need that much ammo, do I? We're already at about 300 or so. Maybe let's just do 400. That should help out.
Come back anytime.
Ugh. Seems like a lot of money. One nice thing about that ship that I just showed off was it had pretty much all the amenities. It had cooking station, spacesuit workbench, weapon workbench, industrial workbench, all kinds of, just create stuff. It had a research station. Don't know if it had a pharmaceutical station. It may have somewhere, but I didn't really notice. almost curious to see. I'm not going to do anything if it does show up, but I kind of want to see if I can search for my ship and if there's any strings that come up. Nope. Oh well. It would be tempting to spawn it if there were, but nah. It's nice to know that it takes me about 7 seconds to take a swig of my drink. Okay. You know, I feel like for it being for it being an endgame ship, the
Unidentified ship. We're going to...
I feel like for being an endgame ship, the Guardian, the Starborn Guardian, just feels incredibly underpowered.
Attempt to scan you for contraband. Please comply. Pretty please.
Maybe not weapons
Scan
wise.
complete. You are cleared to land at New Atlantis.
Maybe not weapons wise, but it's certainly like, you know, engine shield, grav drive wise, seems a little underpowered. I mean, when we're talking about a max speed of what, 220? Yeah, 215. It's kind of like my Goliath can go about 1400. Seems a little underpowered. And again, for the sake of immersion, I'm kind of like trying to remember to land at like the spaceport on New Atlantis and other planets, and just kind of make my way to where I'm supposed to go. You know, still using the NAT on like New Atlantis or other transport options. But, I mean, you know, if we're thinking realistically, you're going to land at a spaceport, then go to your destination. So I'm kind of just trying to aim for that sense of immersion and realism.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear.
Oh boy, I know what's coming up, and I am not looking forward to it. So far, we've experienced this playthrough without any character death so far.
I have a feeling today's going to be
That's-
a great day.
I feel like that's about to change. With what's coming up, I may get my butt handed to me. Just to take a minute to adjust the camera a little. I'm going for a different themed shirt each day. I think I've got something like maybe 4 different gaming shirts. Yesterday's was Sonic the Hedgehog. Today is Squad Goals, which is Street Fighter. Tomorrow I may go for Mega Man Energy Pill Required, which has a illustration of Mega Man with a energy pill that's shaped like a coffee cup, and this just mean grimace on his face because he hasn't had enough coffee yet. And then the 4th one I have is kind of like a Gordon Freeman Fallout Boy, and instead of a thumbs up, he's got a crowbar. So instead of your, hey, he got this, hey, crowbar in his hand and a goatee and orange hair. So, well, red hair, but that's more of a tank top. And then I don't think I really have much else in the way of gaming shirts. At least none that come to mind right now. But yeah, we'll just kind of rotate each of the shirts out.
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place.
Sorry, Reggie.
I'm a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus.
Woe to
Woe
the defeated.
to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it. A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked. I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Okay.
He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the colony war to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise. Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project was, well, a failure. There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized. Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions. I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being Fleet Admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of Guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. Perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too. But Ve Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Captain, congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have 2 petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor. That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic, and at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask, how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act? 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt, the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties. Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
The Starborn options seem like an easy out, a cheat. So I'm gonna use it.
I can't help but agree with the Captain. Attempting to open the archives, it seems like the right way forward.
It does, doesn't it? All right. I withdraw my objection. Let us trust fate. We were all lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to...
And there's the bad news.
An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanners somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, Order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Might take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got.
Did she just call us tools?
You too. We can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
The EM rifle, grab it!
That's it! Now hit him with everything you've got!
Stop! We're trying to help you!
Ooh.
Looks like they're still in there! Don't hurt them!
I think... yeah, that should be good. Maybe. Less than lethal. Okay.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Okay. This is gonna be fun. Like I said, I might get my butt handed to me.
My God, no time to waste, Captain. Boots in the dirt.
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up. Don't just stand there.
Okay, that actually went a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Experts? We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
My last 2 playthroughs, I went to go do work with Sergeant Yumi before this. So, you know, the last 2 playthroughs when I did this part, he was like, wait, officer? You're our experts? So, I guess it'll be nice to kind of do it in reverse, because I do this and then I go apply for UC security. And he's like, oh, say no more. Please sign up. I get the feeling that's what'll happen anyway.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Your call. We're on the line.
I'm gonna have them hold their ground. They're more useful protecting civilians. But could also mean that I end up signing my own death warrant. Okay. Higher the levels I've gained, I guess the easier this kind of gets. I thought this was going to be harder. Oh, there we go.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. The universe put the right people in the right place. Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion.
I'm grabbing a notepad.
Captain, we should report back to the
there's a
president.
couple
Let her know the terramorphs have been dealt with.
Mods
Take care
and
of
whatnot
yourself,
that
Sergeant.
I'm gonna want to do to my weapon. So I'll need to know what materials I need.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your homes. That is all.
Trying not to belch into the microphone.
We lost. They said you all saved the city down there. Thank you.
let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss. Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation than any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of Terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The Cabinet was unanimous. They want you. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
The next time Terramorphs rear their ugly heads,
I'm gonna go check in
UC is
with
going to
Chief
be ready.
Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together for that fate.
Yes. What?
Alright, gonna take a brief intermission for a cigarette break, and should be back in about 5-10 minutes. Not too long. Okay. We're back. Just queuing up the live stream on my phone.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
Somebody sent a message. Hello, Kadir, how's it going?
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
Let's see.
Ambassador Balmore's
Easier.
a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code. Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell. So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you. Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life.
Definitely.
And someone who very likely hates her guts.
I mean, if you get the Xbox Game Pass, you can, like, for $9.99 a month, you could easily beat this game in like a month, and only spend $10 to play it either on Xbox or PC. But then again, I mean, like, you could wait for it to go on sale on Steam. I may not necessarily condone it, but there are other means of playing it as well that outside the bounds of legal gray areas.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise. And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Well, one thing for certain, I mentioned nefarious means, but back in the day when I first started, like, I was born in '86, and early '90s into the 2000s, early 2000s, we still had shareware and demos. So you got a sneak peek of what a game was like. Nowadays, it's hard to find too many games that offer demos. So a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll just, try before I buy. But I do inevitably end up buying a game. So. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, $10 for Game Pass. It's kind of like, renting the game. You get your Game Pass, start playing. You can usually beat at least one playthrough within that month, and then just cancel your membership, or wait for a sale, a flash sale on like Steam or something where it's like 25-50% off. With how new it is, I don't see it being any more than like maybe 25 or 30% off for the time being.
Wish that bartender at the viewport would stop complaining to security. I don't know what she lost, but she won't get it back by annoying us.
Let's see. I'm thinking House of Rune first, but I'm gonna see if I can't have Google flip a coin and see. I'll find out real quick. Hey Google, flip a coin. Heads. Alright, we'll do Freestar first. I gotta be careful sneaking around though. She's really difficult to persuade without the evidence.
What?
But then if you get the evidence, she's like the ambassador is just like, whatever you need.
You are a visitor? You'll find the ambassador in her office. Go on through.
Visitors are only allowed. Terrors, as in more than one. All that security and they still can't protect them. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNet broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
We're waiting for her assistant to come out. And then we're gonna talk to him.
That woman is an absolute... Oh, sorry. Oh, what? You're the Vanguard captain, right? You know, I was about to board the Nat to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. Sounds like I got real lucky. And like I've got you to thank for things not being a lot uglier. Doubt the Vanguard would have a lot of recruits if that were the job description. But I'll take your point. But look, they said you were coming here on official business. The ambassador likes to handle all that personally, even if she does have trained diplomats here to help her. And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so you should probably go speak to her. You want to work with me? Why don't we talk somewhere a bit more private?
How much you want to bet Sarah opens that door?
So you want me to work with you? But why now? Why me? And
Oh,
what
that's
exactly
not
would I
the
be
option
doing
that I
for the
meant to
UC?
select. Whoops.
Her quarters. Huh. Oh, that's doable. And you and the UC will be providing me with what for my services? Oh, wait. I thought you were looking to hire me. Oh, I'm not taking a bribe. That much, huh? Okay, no, okay, yeah. Okay, so there's a utility corridor that leads to the ambassador's quarters, which you can access through the main conference room. Here, the key. Whatever you do, don't let the guards see you entering or exiting the utility section. or you're gonna be in serious hot water. I'll keep an ear out for more instructions from the UC.
Yup, I had a feeling. Alright.
Official business? Talk to the ambassador.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right spot. Maybe I had the right idea here. Maybe? Yep.
Agent detected. Patching in playback.
And that's our evidence.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right. I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time, and yours, and go. Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking about. No. If the Council found out, I'd lose my position. I'd be exiled. I'd be... Look, I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. The issue at hand is one of trust, no? So perhaps if I can trust you to keep this little secret between us, then maybe we can find a way to trust the UC with access to the archives. Good. I appreciate you working with me. Just like I'm sure our great powers will. In fact, I think there's an opportunity here. Keep both our factions happy and ensure an air of legitimacy to the whole proceeding. I can only let you get the information on the Terramorphs. Anything else and people will get suspicious. And all research will need to be monitored. Freestar scientific observers making sure everything's being used for the right purposes. But those 2 items should be enough to allay any suspicions. Good. Good. Okay. Let's go get you your access.
They tell me it should only take a few seconds.
They tell me it should only take a moment.
A moment.
And there. It's not supposed to be a long process. It is for emergencies, after all.
Alright, now we move on to House Food.
Sounds like it was a real mess down at the spaceport.
Sorry, but I need sign-off from the Interstellar Affairs office before I can step in.
Yes, exactly. It's like...
Drawing my weapon because I already know what I'm in for. Wait, she got a minigun this time around? Damn. about these guys. There's like 3 of them in this room. Oh man, I think I only have like one. Maybe. Oh, okay, no, I have 6 left. Yeah, no, let's drop that. That was close. Upstairs. Okay, doing pretty good on the weight. look like a friendly turret. Hasn't started shooting at me yet, so. Oh. Damn. Yeah, there's a couple digit picks. Too much to ask for. Is that a picture? Or an actual garden? I think that's an actual garden. That's cool. Never noticed that before. Where's the third robot? Could have sworn there was 3. Maybe not. Okay, guess not.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
It's all marked as owned. Still no Digipix.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Eh? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably, Do I see this all clearly? The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
We'll do everything we can to make certain that happens.
Well, then I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
What's that
Let's hope
chest?
it still works.
Wow, these aren't marked as owned. I'm not gonna risk it.
And there. Let it be used for good.
Alright. Let's get back to mast. Really, I could have sworn there was a third robot. Am I just losing it? Yeah, I gotta be losing it or something. Or it fell through the ground. Clipped through the ground, that sometimes will happen. Alright. At this point, I'm just looting whatever I can. Just sell it to the trade authority and turn around and buy a bunch of ditch pigs.
Listen, I have a lot on my plate right. You don't look like a new hire stumbling through their first day. Constellation? As indeed. Oh, wow. I used to read stories. Oh, this is... I have a business proposition for you that could, help us both. So you see right through me. You've got a good eye. You are just the person I'm looking for. Well, confession time. I might just be a little desperate. See, the world of credit analysis, you know, dealing with deadbeats and reprobates is, well, it's a tough field. What I need is a ringer, someone that can collect some of our top delinquent offenders. What I need is you. You work with me, and the fee you get will be huge. If you haven't noticed, and I'm guessing you have, the settled systems is big. Like really big. Someone gets seriously underwater, they skip the system. And it's a real pain to track them down. Sad truth is, we can't track everyone down, so credit analysis always has a black eye when reporting to the higher-ups.
So I'm not gonna lie, I actually have some outstanding debts right now that I'm working through. So this guy wants me to work as a debt collector. And when I say I have outstanding debts, I don't mean in the game, I mean in real life. I've made some mistakes, so I myself have some outstanding debts. The irony.
Oh, I can tell you're eager. That's good. But we'll start small and work our way up to the worst offenders. Yes! So, we got a Galaxy-class con-man took out a loan to franchise a restaurant. Turns out, surprise, it was a scam, and Dieter Maliki jumps system. Now, he's holed up in a literal shack in the middle of nowhere. Can you believe it? The job is simple. Get Dieter to pay. And we don't want him dead, we don't want him hurt. Just close his account like an honest citizen. Well, I mean, yes, we're not the only ones looking for him. And you don't dome up on a dust ball unless you're serious about dodging your civic responsibilities. If he dies, then his assets go to probate, and we can get paid. So if he forces you into an it's you or him situation, it's A-okay for Galbank's bottom line if you choose him. But I cannot stress this enough. This is not the ideal outcome. We wanted him liquidated, we'd have put a tracker on him. Well, you may need to lean on him, scare him. Nothing illegal, just talk to him. And don't listen to any sob stories he tells you. Any job I give you, I guarantee there's not some poor sick aunt that needs credits for surgery. These are scofflaws, scum, flagrantly violating the terms of their Galbank agreements.
Yeah, this is sounding less like a banker and more like a loan shark.
I'll send over all the details. You find Dieter and bring his account current.
Decided to take a break from exploring to collect some debts? Not exactly Constellation-worthy pastime, but I'll follow your lead.
I'm with her on that.
I hate to end on this note, but, you know, not everyone's a straight arrow. If you cut a deal with Dieter, honestly, I have no way of knowing. But don't expect any more jobs for me. Best of luck. I believe in you.
As all gal bank makes personal finance easy. Money, as long as you have some.
2.9%. I'd kill to have 2.9%. I mean, I have a bank account right now that offers 4%, but I'm pretty sure there's a mandatory $5,000 prerequisite. So you have to maintain a balance like $5,000 at all times. So I mean, you can use the account actively, but you have to have a surplus over that 5,000 and then never dip below it. I mean, you can dip below it just a little bit, but then you have to bring it current to get your 4% for that month. I don't have 5,000 that I can just throw at a 4% interest-bearing account. And then even then, let's see. Let's do the math here real quick. 5,000.04. That's $200 annually. So $16.60 per month. The only way in where that would actually be lucrative is if you had $1 million in there. If you had $1 million in there, that would be about $40,000 a year. Divide that by 12. It's about $3,000 a month, a little over $3,000. So, I mean, if you won the lottery and threw $1 million into a 4% interest-bearing account, then yes, that would be lucrative, because you could use that $3,000 to live off of and leave the $1 million alone. And, you know, if you didn't use the whole $3,000 and instead just left, you know, say your living expenses and your month-to-month utilities are like $2,000, let's just ballparking it, or I mean, you know, maybe $2,400 after groceries, then you know, you've left to like $700-800 just sitting in there, and that builds up over time, adding to the $1 million, and then you build off that interest too. It's kind of like, you know, the whole premise with Futurama, with the 97 cents he had in his bank account, which after 1,000 years, and if you do the math, it's actually accurate. After 1,000 years, it barrels up to like 4.3 billion, and only in that last 50 or so years did it actually just spike all the way up from like something like, it was like $400, and that last 50 years it just balloons up to like $4.3 billion. Something like that realistically never would happen. You're not going to have, most interest-bearing accounts are not anywhere close to 2.25% interest like Fry's was. But there are some accounts out there that offer special interest rates as long as you maintain a certain amount of money. But no, I was just stopping in there to see if they offered any kind of account services in the game. Doesn't look like it. Instead, I got recruited to be an enforcer. Alright, time for another break. Shouldn't be too long, but yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, we are back, and that should be the last break I take until the end of the stream.
Hello.
Which, where we're sitting at right now, should probably be in about an hour, hour and a half.
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement. That's incredible. I wasn't sure Radcliffe would ever get on board. I'm very much looking forward to getting the debrief on how precisely you managed to pull all this off, but that'll have to wait for another time. Regardless, superlative work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Yes?
I am gonna make a small pit stop. Before I go to the archives, I'm gonna swing by the well, see about getting some more digipics, because I think I've got like 3 or 4 of them left. Yeah, 3. Should probably get some clothes too. So, yeah, we'll swing by Jemison Mercantile for some clothes. And then the Trade Authority for some digipics. Oh, you know, I probably could just go to the Trade Authority for both. I think that might be the better option. Get my bearings, kind of get a feeling where I'm at here on the well. There it is.
Saw your ship come in. Nice ride.
The Trade Authority has access to goods and services no one else does. Welcome to the Trade Authority. If you're here on legitimate business, I would be more than happy to help you. If, however, you are here under false pretense, say, sent by one Miss Tsang of UC Distribution, then I'm afraid you'll find nothing illegitimate here to report to her. And I'd ask that you pass along my request to stop these silly games. So, what'll it be? then my disclaimer doesn't apply. Please, let me know if I can assist you further. Of course, of course.
Okay. Do I want more ammo? No. Let's see. Samson's art, huh? Okay. Wow, no clothing? What?
Pleasure dealing with you.
Guess we're off to Jemison Mercantile.
Having a
then.
good one?
It's been in existence from the beginning.
Bye, Sarah. Like, it's so mean that the game just implies that you ditch them and grab the gnat to wherever you're going.
Can I help you with something, my friend?
Hi there! Thanks for stopping in. Feel free to look around. I can take care of transactions, and if you've got questions, just ask. Oh, please, take a look.
Alright, what do we got? Yeah, that'll do.
Appreciate the business.
Oh, I had a jumpsuit this whole time. Oh well. There we go. I don't know, we may... I was hoping to, get upwards of somewhere around 700,000 credits for that Goliath ship, like I did in my last last playthrough. But I don't know, it's looking more and more like I may not be able to do that in a single playthrough. I went through like 4, maybe 5 different quest lines before I had enough money to build that ship, and I had like 3 other ships that I had just kind of like gotten, like the Mantis ship, one of like the UC prison ship, and another Crimson ship that I just sold them all off. And then all I had was like the Goliath and the Frontier. There we go. Armistice Archives. got plenty of miscellaneous quests I could do too. We've still got 6 more days after this. So we'll see where it goes. I did adjust the game volume down a little bit, so hopefully not too bad. Hopefully the game's coming through still pretty loud and clear so you guys can hear me on the mic well, but also still hear the game, and neither is overpowering the two. Obviously want the mic to come out a little clearer than the game, but also still be able to hear the game too.
By the Freestar Collective's ragtag fleet, both sides decided the time had come to bring the colony war to an end. So, the two parties came together to negotiate the terms of the armistice. Fleet sizes would be capped, mechs and xeno weapons outlawed, and all research related to those fields would be kept under lock and key in their own special archive, which actually rests below our feet as we speak. And while these new restrictions transformed the settled systems overnight, entire economies were upended with the flick of a pen. They also marked the start of something critical: cooperation between the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective for the first time in decades. A pledge between the powers for a more harmonious future. Thank you for listening.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules.
Wrong monitoring station.
Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
I just had an evil idea. Yep, I didn't think so. So Kadir jumped in chat briefly. He's like, I'd love to play this game. And I was like, well, hey, try Game Pass. I think he dipped out to go sign up for Game Pass.
Just doesn't add up. Spaceport has anti-xeno.
Alright, let's see. one thing I never really understood about this game is just like when you're sprinting and just barreling through the area, if you ran into somebody in real life, you'd knock them on their ass. They'd stagger. In this game, you run into them and you're just like, sprinting in place. It's kind of like, yeah, that's a good idea for a mod. NPCs stagger, NPCs lose balance when you run into them. Who knows?
Howdy.
There you are. Captain. Surprised to find out we're having visitors as we work.
Major Sanan and I were just discussing the merits of your planned interfactional cooperation. I think it's a great idea. Get them invested in the solution. Make it clear we've got nothing to hide.
I'm sure they'll be lovely house guests.
Now, Captain, if you wouldn't mind transferring the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing next steps.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put some things right.
Plus, you don't need her word. We'll be setting up oversight alongside the collective.
Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Should even be able to house its own cadre of independent observers. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Not sure if those Varun zealots live in space or got separated from their home planet or what, but they scavenge what they need. Lots of old facilities left over from the colony war.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies?
I am gonna check one thing real quick here. I just want to see if we've made any progress. With the fundraiser. Somehow I feel like it's still a little early, but I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, nope. Nothing yet. But hey, that's okay. Really? There we go. Okay.
Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
Sure, whatever.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. Do I have it?
I should be like, thanks, no thanks, because I know who it is.
Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
I love how it just so happens to be the reward she gives you, 8,000 credits, is exactly what you gave Mr. Long for his information on how to get into the Freestar Collective's ambassadors' private quarters. So real quick, I'll see how many of you guys have noticed the new Gamebryo engine that they've been using for Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Starfield. Obviously, you know they've improved things over time, of course. But since Skyrim, I never noticed this in Oblivion or Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas because they used the same iteration of Oblivion's engine. But since Skyrim and onto Fallout 4 and Starfield, if an NPC uses a door, you literally have to like wait a few seconds to use the door yourself, or like move your mouse away from the door and back to the door before you can use the door and go through it. I don't know why, but that kind of bothers me.
Logging authorized entry, unsealing access. You may proceed down the corridor. But there are no additional visitors permitted. Your friend's gonna have to wait out here.
I'll be fine. You go on ahead.
Woe the defeated.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat. President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get. Which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am? Perceptive. most know me as Victus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes, but the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here, a sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies.
It's that hand motion. The animation reuses it over and over again.
One final act of rebellion by the leadership that lost the Colony War. The trial was authentic. I faced tribunal with dignity, but my execution, staged. A lethal injection that was anything but. The cabinet at the time, long gone now, wished to keep me on as an advisor, and considering the other option, I was in no place to refuse. So I elected to trade my freedom for my continued existence. But such is the life of a soldier. I want to help you, and my progeny Hadrian, prevent more attacks. Though I am curious, has she shared with you the nature of our little family? Won't even indulge an old man's curiosities. So be it. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with. Well, who better to find them? But many of them I knew personally, and I've always had a mind for details. Where someone was born, next of kin. You'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were born, or where a family member resides. I simply use my own personal knowledge and the information our group collects for me to track them down and set things right. One task. That's all I require. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the Colony War ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know. Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that, perhaps down the line, you might become a part of our team. And this might be something of a tryout. You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it.
that's what you require to sleep at night, so be it. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf system. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
And if for any of you, if my character looks familiar at all, the Hotel Volai on Neon, at Neon on Planet Volai, the hotel concierge at the front desk, the owner of the hotel, that is actually all of the face code values. So I was able to use S-Edit, which is a derivative of X-Edit, to open Starfield ESM and get all of the face gen data, and then literally copied and pasted that over using a forgot what it's a save game manager for like Skyrim and Fallout 4, but also works for Starfield saves. You can open it up and remove plugin dependencies, but you can also change other values, modify other values like face gen data and whatever else. So I literally just copied the hotel concierge from Hotel Volai.
Identity verified. You may proceed to the exit.
You're cleared for entrance.
I'm listening. All right, let's go.
Pardon.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy. Surprised me too when I learned it, but the prisoner has proven useful over the years, and kept far from any major decision-making. But I do think it's worth re-emphasizing. No one else can know about this, all right? The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information, and she certainly doesn't need a distraction from her current, very important work. Which is why I need you to keep this to yourself. Good. Because bringing this up to the outside world would create the unfair appearance, Captain, that you're unhinged. And that's not a good look for any of us. Now, was there something in particular you needed to discuss about what we were just discussing? Dr. Reginald Orlaise? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlaise is completely out of the question, but bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC. What's being offered in return? Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting? The Den? It's a star station, orbiting Wolf, the second star station actually to bear that title. The first one was blown to smithereens by House Varun during the Serpent's Crusade. The place has always acted as a remote strategic hub, primarily for repairing and refueling UC military vessels. But because of its distance from the rest of the UC, things there have always been a little more lax. Patrols included. I can think of worse places in the galaxy for a criminal to hide out. Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake. But I don't think you need to be too concerned. This is far from the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off largely without a hitch. So while I'd certainly warrant caution, I think you can proceed. Then I'll bid you good day, Captain, and remind you of the importance of discretion.
Alright. I am starting to get a little tired, so I think we're gonna deal with Dr. Reginald Arlays, and then upon our return to New Atlantis, I'm gonna call it a night and head to bed.
Responding to hail, you are cleared to dock. Welcome to UC Space.
place the manufacturer of your ship. I'm just gonna write down custom, and then awesome in parentheses. Hope that's okay.
Looking to lodge a complaint? Then you... Oh, apologies, Captain. Didn't recognize you without the uniform. So, what can I do for you? Think you got some bad information. If there was a wanted man in our skies, he wouldn't still be out there. Unless... Are you talking about the Warlock? There's been rumor of a ship out there for years now. Doesn't respond to hails, never docks. More than a few amateur investigators have tried to find it, and at least 2 never came back. Aetherius debris fields are plenty dangerous if you're not used to flying in them. But if you're suggesting it might not have been the fields that got them, well, I can give you the coordinates of the Warlock's last sighting. I mean, I honestly thought it was just a story board haulers told to amuse each other. But if the pilot of the Warlock really has been dusting our people, well, hopefully you're about to make our skies a whole lot safer. Sure thing. Here, this should get you pointed in the right direction. Good hunting, and stay safe.
You've got something for me? Sure, go ahead. No problem. Time to go?
Whoa. That was definitely quite a delayed render there. Hoping for, but oh well. Damn. Oh well. Yeah, when you have like a super powerful ship, it's hard to disable one particular system when you don't have the right kind of weapons for it. Okay, as soon as the ship lands, I'm gonna quick save, and we're gonna call it a night. We'll turn in the evidence of Reginald's death to Victus when we start the stream tomorrow. Good news is I get off work a little bit early tomorrow, so I'll probably get an earlier start on the stream as well. So we're gonna call it a night, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow.